Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to introduce myself. I am J.R. Sanko from the BSCD1E, and I am taking the Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Science in the University of Antique main campus. I'll be discussing here my topic about the oral communication. Here it is. Okay, so now my topic is all about the oral communication. So when we say the oral communication, it is the process of verbally transmitting information and ideas from one individual or group into another. So does it mean or simply means that is the oral communication is tackled about the transmitting a message into one another which have a sender and receiver. So in oral communication, there is two types of communication or which is all about informal and formal communication. So here we go. I will send here or include here the pictures of informal communication. Then when we say informal communication, it is the type of communication in which we have a sender and receiver. So here is the video.
Hello? Hello? Can I speak to Kate? Speaking. Hi, Kate. This is Mike. Hi, Mike. What's up? Let's play badminton at the park. Sounds good. What time? How about at 2? Okay. See you at 2. Bye.
As you can see, that is the example of informal communication. In oral communication, that shows how will you communicate to your partner will have a meaning and how will you deliver your message to your partner with a good feedback or bad feedback. It's either in that too. The important is you shared a message to your partner that we called receiver. Then let's proceed for the formal oral communication. Here we go. So let's proceed to the next type of oral communication, which is formal communication. When we say formal, it was all about presentation at business meetings, classroom lectures, speeches, and graduation ceremony. So all of that is an example of formal communication. So here is the video. in the video that I showed you, it explained what a formal conversation is. We often to do it when there are programs or others. So sometimes might be happen in if there is a program at your school, your community, or at your municipality or others. Let's proceed to the 6 causes of failure of oral communication. So here they are. First of that is the absence of planning. So, when we lack plans for a report or presentation, it is a big point that we'll lose. For example, we speak inside the classroom and it has a rating. If you start a speech that is not all planned or you do not study well, that will be a huge point we will lose. For example, if our teachers rate us how we grade on our performance, so there is a big points that we lose if we are not prepared or without plan for this presentation. So put it to your mind that we need to prepare and make a plan before we start to present our topic. So next is overconfidence. Overconfidence. This is another one things that can cause failure in our performance. When your performance is overconfidence, because when we are too confident in tasks, we do not realize that it will give the presence of mental block in our mind. Sometimes we become speechless, and sometimes we have a higher confidence or the higher expectations will also give us the failures. Also remember that we should or we must be prepared and not be too confident. It's because we don't need an overconfidence yourself. Just make yourself normally, just act normally, and put your mind the word of preparedness, not overconfident. That is the reason why some people or why some students having a mental block while they are speaking in the midst of people. So you should avoid that. Next of that is our busyness. When we are too busy with our activities, we do not realize that we have not been able to analyze our presentations well. So we have a performance failure. Remember that and you know that? That is the one thing that can cause failure while we are talking in the midst of crowd. So maybe let's proceed for the fourth failures of oral communication, which is quick transmission. This is the another one thing that we always thought if it is right or not, but sometimes it will cause a failure. And it is the quick, when the extreme speed of our speech or the provisions of information, it is the reason why our audiences do not fully understand what we are talking about. So all we have to do is make the delivery of the message in the normal. Then the next of that is inattention. When we are not paying attention to what we are doing, there is what will be the reduction in points in our performance. For example, when we speak in the middle or give a speech made by our teacher and we're not focused on what to say or do next, of course, the following up on our ideas will be ruined. Simply means that you're not paying your attention on what you're talking about, what you are delivered to your audience, everything will be ruined. So put your mind that the 6 failures is we need to avoid. We need to avoid that because in oral communication, we need to make a good steps how to make effectively our oral communication skills. So let's proceed for the advantages and disadvantages of the oral communication. Here it is, the one. Oral communications promotes a receptive and encouraging morale among organization employees. That is the one of the advantages that we should think first. The second of that, it is not only the time saving, but it also saves upon money and efforts. So put your mind that when we are in oral communication, sometimes we spend or saves upon money and effort, unless we are not providing our efforts here. The next of that is oral communication can be best used to transfer private and confidential information matter. Oral communication is best in case of problem resolution. The complex or many issues or differences can be put to an end by taking them over. So just remember the advantages of oral communication. Next is disadvantages. Relying only on oral communication may not be sufficient. Business communication is formal and very organized. That is the problem. When we say disadvantages, when we are relying our oral communications in the business or whatsoever, it is not enough evidence or whatsoever. It is not a reliable information that we've shared to everyone because this is all about what we experience only. Next of that is oral communication. It's less authentic than written communication as they are formal and not as organized as written communication. Did you know that? What is it? The oral communication will tackle about what our experiences, what we are observation, what we have learned from the past, while the written communication, which is all about the survey, study something about primary sources and secondary sources. So this is the disadvantage of that oral communication is not reliable. Then the next of that, there may be misunderstanding as the information is not complete and maybe are not essential. Sometimes in oral communication, when we are delivering our message to our audience, if we are so very quick in the transmissions of message, that is useless. Sometimes there are a lot of people misunderstand what we are talking about, especially in our pronunciation, especially how we explain that words. Unlike in written, we wrote a lot of information and sources where we gathered that. So that is the one disadvantage of oral communication. Next, it will requires attentiveness and great receptivity on part of the receivers or audience. The another one is oral communication, such as speeches. Is not frequently used as a legal records except investigation work. Yes, and I believe in that class. In oral communication, sometimes we're talking about something that we need to explain at what we are wanted to spread out the information, but behind of that is based on our experiences and observation only, and there is not reliable. We should authenticate our information before we say something in the midst of crowd. Like written communications, they put the sources, the credential, or something that can prove or defend their sides that their arguments is right and reliable. So just always remember the advantage and disadvantage of oral communication. Maybe this is a last, or maybe this is the end of the topic. What is the importance of effective oral communication for the students? As one of the next future educators, it is important to use, especially when we interact with other people, can give us a lesson in why it is important. Whether we are professional or not, it is really necessary, even in simple conversation. It is important to know especially the guidelines, because we can use them next time when we are in position or even in talking to each other. Did you know, guys, that as a student and future educator someday, it is not only for professional, it is not only for the rich people, or it is not only for the persons who have a higher position. But these oral communications tackled here or mentioned a while ago, it is open for all. Because even wherever we go, this is important, and sometimes we use this oral communication how we interact other people. There is importance behind of the word of oral communication, not only focusing on the professional and other in the higher position, but I will repeat again, it is referred for all of us, open for all, open for study of this, open for understand of this topic, is because all of us will benefit of this. So if you want to have a good result, or you want to know what are the guidelines that makes your oral communication effectively, I will play the video that I have downloaded from the YouTube, and maybe it will help you a lot. So, before I end this lesson or this topic, I would like to inform you that if you have a question or queries for me, don't hesitate to ask me. I will answer your questions if you have a question. So, let me remind you, before you end or before you stop watching this lesson, don't forget to like and follow and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. And once again, I am J.R. Sanko, tackled my topic about oral communication.